Hello, beautiful viewers. Tom Thought through the cosmos. Prepare to indulge in experiencing sheer bliss, because today another riveting, captivating, stellar unboxing video is about to be brought to fruition. What item will I be unboxing? What item will I be opening? Without further delay, without further procrastination, allow me to elicit the packaging. What item is encompassed inside this bulky, hefty, tangible box? Let's find out. I'm going to demystify that answer to that inquiry right here, right now, and subsequently flaunt the item in front of the camera for you to feast your eyes on. Bear with me. It will take me billions of picoseconds to extract the item from the box and render it transparent for you to feast your eyes on. We will be taking more than a gander at the item. Alrighty, I have drawn forth the one and only illustrious Masked Rider Agito Trinity form action figure. Am I well acclimated with the series that he's derived from? Unfortunately not. I guess he's considered a Kamen rider. Who knows? He was produced by Bandai Namco, I think. I recollect paying under $10 in order to procure him. Apparently he comes bundled with a flame saber, a storm halberd, and an interchangeable hand parts. So he's supposed to come bundled with a myriad of items. There are other Kamen Rider figurines that you can acquire via Amazon.com. Bear with me one brief moment. I just want to verify something. Alright, I think his moniker is Kamen Rider Agito. Here he is. I procured him from the Amazon warehouse. I needed to add items to my cart in order to qualify for free shipping. Once you meet the $35 threshold, you can reap free shipping on your order for products sold by Amazon.com and their Amazon warehouse deals subsidiary. Alright. I just want to verify something else. Just bear with me one brief moment. Alright. Is this figurine stupendous? Is he a paradigm of perfection? Is he the embodiment of resounding perfection? Is he the epitome of perfection? Does he denote sheer perfection? Let's find out. He's about to be liberated from his packaging. I presume that he would be taller. He seems to stand roughly 3.75 inches tall. His hands are falling out, which is an issue. The rim of the packaging is sharp. I do not want him to become marred with scratches. I need to unbox him gingerly. I detest the way that he was packaged. This is a one-time ordeal. Once he's fully unboxed, I'll never have to repeat this process with the figurine. He will remain liberated from his packaging forever. He's meant to be opened, not confined to a box. Alrighty. Off the get-go, he lacks figure joint articulation, he lacks an ankle pivot, he lacks a diaphragm joint. He can twist his torso. Actually, he may have a relatively small diaphragm joint. I shouldn't make arbitrary assumptions. I need to feel these figurines' joints before I presume that they don't exist. His fingers are clenched together in both hands, which is ideal if you want your figurine to be placed into a dynamic pose where he's pummeling his adversaries to death. If you swap his hands, you'll be able to wield both of his weapons simultaneously. He can dual wield. One of his hands has fallen on the floor apparently. It's MIA. I'm unsure where it is. Oh, never mind. It was on the table. I presume that it was on the floor. Alright. Let's equip one of his weapons. Then I can proceed onward. I love the metallic deco. I love the glossy paint applications. I love the shadings, I love the textures, I love the hues. The height is the only issue. I would prefer if my action figures were at least 6 inches tall. His height was not specified on the product listing. I thought he would be at least 5 inches tall. Alright. You can pop off his hands and insert new hands into the aperture. Alright. I did not want to compromise his integrity, so I'll abstain from changing his hands. Again, he'll just wield both of his weapons for now on. Let's see how tall he is. Do I have a Star Wars figurine? Apparently I do. Oh, he is slightly taller than 3.75 inches. He's roughly 4 inches tall. Another inch would have made a huge difference. Another 2 inches would have appeased me greatly. I am not eminently appeased. I love this action figure. However, I detest the fact that he's not 6 inches tall. His shoulder pads can be ascended or descended. His head seems to be on a disjoint. His arms seem to be on a ball joint. His knees are not double jointed. He has a hinge in his feet. His legs are not relegated to a ratchet. He lacks a joint in his waist. His belt buckle cannot be removed. His eyes appear to be bulging out. He's likely wearing a mask. He's adorned with armor. He looks nimble. He seems to be anorexic. Compare him to the Juggernaut and see how they contrast. One offers you more value for your dollar. The Juggernaut is unequivocally the superior figurine. For a Kamen Rider figurine is not abysmal, other than the gripe about him being under 5 inches tall. I have no major complaints about him. I would have preferred if he had finger joint articulation. I would have preferred if he had bulkier muscles. I would have preferred if his biceps were larger. I would have preferred if he could perform an ankle pivot. I would have preferred if he could rotate his waist. I would have preferred if he wielded more armor. I would have preferred if he came with more accessories, but for under $8, I guess I'm somewhat content with this purchasing decision. Had I known that he was roughly 4 inches tall, I would have refrained from buying him. But since I needed to add $35 worth of merchandise to the cart in order to avert the fiasco of paying for shipping, I had no choice other than to procure an item from Amazon Warehouse Deals or Amazon.com. So it is what it is. I'll likely display this figurine with my action figure as a part of a 3.75 inch action figure line. Does he scale eminently with Star Wars figurines? He does, but he doesn't look of normal size next to 6-inch action figures. He looks out of context when you place him next to a 6-inch action figure line. He also looks out of context next to Star Wars action figures. I lack any other Kamen Rider action figures. Will I procure more action figures from a Kamen Rider action figure line? I will most likely not, until they can amplify the heist of upcoming figurines, a part of a Kamen Rider's action figure line. If they're just going to remain 4 inches tall, then they will not receive my voluntary purchases. My voluntary transactions will be pursued elsewhere and not culminate in Bandai Namco. Reaping a profit if I don't purchase their figurines. When I say a profit, I'm implicitly referring to them reaping a profit of my voluntary transactions. There's still a market for these figurines, which is why they're churned out. But I likely will not be a consumer within that market if they're going to remain 4 inches tall. Are they still being produced? I do not know. That is an enigma. This figurine was likely manufactured years ago. I recently procured him via Amazon.com used, so I do not know what year he was produced. But if the market for these 4-inch figurines still exists, then count me out. I hope that you found this video to be intriguing and riveting and insightful. This is a Kamen Rider Agito in Trinity form, apparently. Once again, here's the packaging. Here are his weapons. I love his halberd. I love his flame saber. I love his interchangeable hands. I hope that I do not lose them over the course of time. Here are his hands. They're miniature. Here's the figurine once again. Gaze into this glorious figurine's eyes. Even though he was used, his joints are relatively sturdy. His integrity has not been compromised. He's not marred with scratches. His paint applications are not tainted with scuffs. He doesn't have any indentations, from what I can tell. He's just a remarkable figurine, other than the height issue. If he was 5 inches tall, it would have made a world of difference. I purchase action figures that are mostly 6 inches tall or taller. I want my figurines to be at least 5 inches tall. Had I known that he was 4 inches tall, I would have neglected to buy him. So that's everything I wanted to divulge. I hope that you found this video to be intriguing. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.